Welcome to 1965. Forget your smartphone. Forget the internet. You just woke up in a world where a mouse is something you kill with a trap, and Apple is just a fruit. Instead of checking notifications, your first task is to manually wind up your alarm clock so it doesn't die mid-sleep. There's no snooze button here, just a loud mechanical hammer hitting a bell until you physically stand up and stop the noise. Can you survive 24 hours? It's 7 a.m. You want to check the news? Grab that giant stack of paper called a newspaper. Hope you like black ink on your fingers. Also, your breakfast is probably steak, eggs, and a glass of whole milk, because in 1965, fat was fine, but seatbelts were optional. You're reading about the space race or the Vietnam War while your kitchen is filled with the smell of bacon grease and heavy cream. People didn't count calories in 1965. They counted how many spoons of sugar they could fit in their coffee before it became a syrup. Okay, it's 8:30 a.m. and you have to go to another town for work. You're driving a 4,000-pound steel monster with no power steering and a radio that only plays AM stations. GPS? That's called a map, and it's currently taking up your entire windshield while you try to fold it. Gas costs only 30 cents a gallon, so you don't mind that your V8 engine gets about 8 miles to the gallon. If you get lost, you can't ask Siri. You have to pull over at a gas station and hope the attendant can explain a paper map that's older than you are. Now, let's imagine you're working at the office, and you know your route by heart. You're at your desk, no emails, no Slack, just a typewriter that sounds like a machine gun and a rotary phone. If you need to send a document to the London office, you mail it and wait 2 weeks. The air is thick with cigarette smoke because everyone, including your boss, is puffing away right at their desks. Productivity? It was basically just drinking coffee and typing the same letter 5 times because you made one typo. If you need to make a long-distance call, it's so expensive that you have to clear it with the accounting department first or wait until after 9 p.m. Let's talk about your wallet. In 1965, the average American worker earned about $4,600 a year. That sounds like a disaster today, but back then, a single dollar was basically a superpower. Woo! If you walked into a gas station with a $5 bill, you weren't just getting a snack. You were filling up your entire 20-gallon tank and still getting change back for a pack of gum. Today, $5 barely covers the convenience fee at some gas stations. Now, let's head to the grocery store. A loaf of bread costs 21 cents, and a dozen eggs would set you back about 50 cents. You could feed a family of 4 for a week for what you now spend on a single avocado toast and a medium latte. It's not that things were cheaper, it's that your money actually had muscles. But the real shocker? Housing. In 1965, the median price for a new home in the U.S. was around $20,000. That's roughly 3 to 4 times the average annual salary. Today, in many U.S. cities, a house costs 10 times the average salary or more. Back then, you didn't need a 30-year, soul-crushing mortgage just to have a roof that didn't leak. Let's talk about your gadgets. In 1965, if you wanted to take a photo, you didn't just tap a screen. You bought a roll of film, prayed you didn't expose it to light, and waited a week for the drugstore to develop it. You had no idea if the photo was even good until 7 days later. Today, we take 50 selfies in 10 seconds just to find the right angle for our lunch, while in 1965, every single click of the camera actually cost you real money. And what about staying fit? Today, we pay $50 a month for a gym membership and wear watches that tell us to stand up. In 1965, your gym was called life. There were no electric windows in cars, no TV remotes, and no lawn mowing robots. If you wanted to change the channel, you had to physically stand up, walk across the room, and fight with a metal knob. You didn't need a step tracker because every basic task was a workout. Even finding a date was different. There was no swiping left or right. If you liked someone, you had to call their house, talk to their terrifying father on a rotary phone for 10 minutes, and ask for permission to speak to them. It took more courage to get a date in 1965 than it takes to run a marathon today. Now let's talk about why it's a miracle your grandparents are even alive today. In 1965, safety was more of a suggestion than a rule. See that baby in the front seat of the car? He's not in a high-tech, impact-absorbing car seat. He's sitting in a metal high chair that hooks over the seat back, essentially acting as a catapult if Dad hits the brakes too hard. But it gets weirder. If you had a headache, your doctor might suggest a specific brand of cigarettes to calm your nerves. There was no organic label on every single thing. Toys were often made of hard materials that can be sharp as a knife. Now I want to hear from you. If you could swap your high-speed internet for one day of 1965 prices and 30-cent gas, would you do it? Or are you too addicted to your 5G and cat videos? Let me know in the comments, especially if you're one of the legends who actually lived through this and drank from the garden hose. I want to hear your craziest stories. Thanks for watching. I hope my videos bright up your day just a little bit. Don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next video.